Sean.
Yo, it's finally happening. Manit Monsur. Freaking welcome to the Honest Creative Podcast. I'm excited because I learned so much from you, and I think there's so much that people can learn from you as well. I know there's like 1,000 Seans out there, millions of them, who would need a Manit in their life.
I don't know about that. But yeah, I'll take that. Okay.
But before we dive in all to the nitty gritty stuff,
Yeah.
very serious question. You have to answer me very fast, immediately, right? What is the first thing you think of when I say the color blue?
Blue, Anessa, because we just shot for them the brand.
That is the wrong answer, but I'll give you a gift anyways. The wrong answer! Anyway, you're the first person to ever receive this, and it is the Honest Creative sticker, which is I just printed out at Seacon Square. Not bad, not bad.
Okay. I see
looks pretty
someone's
legit,
copying Anessa. This reminds me of Anessa. No, just kidding. Okay, but wow, this is nice.
Not
Branding
bad,
on point.
I know. I blue socks.
Wow. Okay. Apparently, it's the only blue I have.
Yeah, that's why you have to have one. But anyway, today I actually have a few questions prepared for you, and obviously you don't have to go too in depth if you don't want to, but
touch base.
Whatever you talk about, whatever things that come out of your mouth, are gold. So let's do it, man. Let's do it.
Just raising the bar too high. Yeah. Okay, I'll try.
Where's my pen?
Yeah.
Shit, where's my?
Need a pen? I don't know where your pen is, but I can give you mine.
Oh, I see my pen. One second, I got it. Okay.
If anything, bro, I got pens.
All right. See, the blue question is ticked off. Boom. I
didn't see that coming. I'm like, wait a second.
Yeah.
Because I also finished editing Anessa video, so.
Oh, okay. So damn.
Work.
Wow, doing your work as you're supposed to.
Exactly, yeah.
Nice.
All I see is blue now is like Anessa. Okay.
Anyway, I think it'd be really interesting if we start off by doing a sample business call. Because I think because I think that's something you're really good at, and I learned a lot just by listening to when you talk to clients, how to manage them, how to approach them, right?
Yeah.
So let's do that. I'm gonna pretend I'm a client, and I called you, and then we're discussing a project. Okay. Yeah, and then you just walk through your normal process of what you would say.
Okay, this is fun. Let's do it.
Yeah. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Exposing your secrets to the world.
Oh my God. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, let's do it.
We'll talk about rates after this. No worries.
You mean like rates for this project?
Yeah.
This is consulting.
Well, I'm giving away, bro. Like.
Okay. So I'm
happy to provide some values. Right. Let's do it. Man.
That's what life is about, isn't it? Let's do it. All right.
Okay.
Ready? I'm gonna be calling.
Okay. Here we go. Another honest creative.
Hello. Is this Manit Monsur?
Yes, Manit speaking. How can I help you?
So yeah, we are a sunscreen company, and we're looking to launch our latest product. And I was wondering if you have any, how do we work together? I want to make some videos.
Right. Okay. Can you tell me a little bit more of what you have in mind in terms of the content that you like to create? Is it a video or is it a photo?
As I've said before, it's a video, and I think we're looking for like one brand video, looking at 2 minutes long of some people playing at the beach and using the sunscreen. Like, what's your price for that? I want to know.
Okay. So how this works when I have people reach out. First of all, it requires a lot more information for me before I'm able to give you my price. So what we have for that is a form that I would want you to fill out. It's a comprehensive form where you can fill out all the information about your need. You can tell me a little bit about what your brand is and what the deliverables that you are expecting, the shooting dates, and basically the pain points and objectives of this video that is going to be helpful for your brand. Will that be something you're comfortable?
Yeah, I'm super comfortable. I mean, I'm the CEO, but I got my assistant, Prin, who's going to help me complete that form. Okay. But yeah, I appreciate that. But is it possible you give us like, rough estimate? Because we're kind of just shopping around. I don't know if you guys can just tell us a number.
We really cannot tell right now. I could just give you a rate now. If I were to give you a rate, I can't promise that it won't be the rate that you would want to hire me for, because without knowing the whole scale of the project, I just can't tell you my price, right? So we will do that properly, step by step. So if you can be patient and, you know, help me fill out the form, and I'll help you throughout the process, and, you know, we'll make progress. And if all turns out good, we'll work together, and if my rates are eventually too high, I'm happy to recommend it to someone else in my network, if that's okay with you as well. Anything that you're comfortable with.
Hey, I feel so comfortable right now, man. Like, thank you so much, Mr. Manit. I think this has been a great call. You've talked me through everything, and I think, yeah, I'll talk to my assistant and get things sorted and get back to you soon.
Okay.
Thank
Are you sure? Is that all you wanted to ask me? Is there anything else you would like to clarify?
I mean, I have some OnlyFans content I want to shoot for myself, but we'll discuss that later.
Yeah, we do that too.
We do that too.
Happy to help out.
Okay. Yeah. No worries. Let me talk to my.
I'm a platinum member of OnlyFans.
Oh, you're platinum member. Oh.
You know?
Damn.
Yeah.
Yo.
Good times. Always OnlyFans. Yeah.
All right. Thank you for your call.
I can actually send you like one photo in
one
DM
photo
right now.
Do I have to pay for that?
Just shoot me up on email or like WhatsApp. I'll send you my photos.
Sounds
my link to, you know, my OnlyFans.
Thank you. I appreciate that, man. See you soon. Thank you.
Okay, have a good one. Talk
Bye,
to you
bye.
soon. Looking forward to work with you in the future. Oh, he hold up. Okay.
Sheesh. Dude, that was good, man. That was good.
I don't tell. Like, why would I tell my price?
Yeah.
You know, like, you just, like, you haven't talked shit about your project, right?
Yeah.
Like, you gotta tell me what's up.
Yeah.
Right? I need to know not A to Z, but like, give me A to, I don't know, A to C.
Yeah.
A few things, pointers for me to kind of like, you know, steer my direction towards if this is like a $500 project or is it like a $5,000 project, right? I need to know that.
Yeah. I think a lot of the times people who reach out to us don't know how to do it correctly, right?
Yeah.
So what are some things that clients who want to work with you should approach you with? Like, should they already have all the details sorted, or should they talk about money first? How's that work?
Okay, so obviously it depends on who they're reaching out to.
Yeah.
But if someone is reaching out to me, I definitely, instead of talking to them on emails and text message based, I would want like a direct phone call. You know, first email I get, I tell them if I can schedule a call with
Why
them,
is that?
if I'm interested in the project. So when I'm talking to them, that like interpersonal connection, that human voice, the way that they're positioning themselves, their comfortability and like all of that jazz you can hear from a human voice, and to see if they are really like serious with you or not, right? So once you figure that out, and if I see that this is like a potential client and I'm also interested in the project, right? Then what I would like to do for my client, for potential client, is to basically, you know, have them educated. Like if they're not experienced prior with video production or photography, right? So I will tell them what my processes are.
Okay, nice.
Right? So which it's being like starting with filling out a form. Right? I can't tell you my price right away. So that's education, that's like pricing 101. Right? For me, I give out the form. I need to know who my client is and what their goal, their objective is.
I think that's awesome. I think the form thing is something everyone should do. Because instead of going through each client, like talking to one-on-one and then having to like go through the same process for each client, they just do it themselves and then you can hop in when you need to, right?
One day, I've even got like 10 to 15 like inquiries in one day, and there's no way, that was the most like around that scale. And there's no way, like I get inquiries like from time to time, right? And it can add up, and like, so it's a good practice when you have like a system out there that you can just kind of like, you don't have to care about the project even like early on, don't have to be serious, but just like take a minute, kind of like, and I already have like a preset that's like, hey, thank you for reaching out, here's a form, fill it out, and then I'll get back to you once we have the details. That's it.
If you guys are looking to purchase that preset, you can click his link down in the bio below. $10 off right now.
$10 off, okay.
That's a lot. The price of the product is $10, so it's no, just kidding. Yeah, man, I think that's really good. I think that we can segue that into, you know, I know you started as a freelance videographer and freelance, you know, you've been done everything independently. Everyone starts off like that. Yeah. What made you say, I want to start a business? Like, why not just be a freelance photographer or videographer forever?
Okay. So back in the days, even like from my university, when I was like, I started computer science and I knew that it wasn't the right path, I choose to study something that matches my passion, right? So
Yeah.
filmmaking. So
Okay.
I started grinding on my hobbies, turning my passion into a profession.
Okay.
Right?
So you're
And
serious about it, not just like fucking around.
No. Yeah.
So
I wasn't
you studied
definitely
in
fucking around.
uni. You were like, I'm gonna make it as a videographer. One day. Okay.
Yeah. I saw myself like spending the next 50, 20 years of my life.
Taking videos.
Yeah, being a creative person,
Okay.
as opposed to like me graduating from like computer science
Yeah.
and then doing desk job in some
Yeah.
corporate IT
feel you.
office.
Yeah.
Like I didn't want to be one of that guy. No disrespect to like
Yeah,
anyone
no,
doing that,
100%.
but like it's just not me. And
Yeah.
as soon as like you're able to figure that out, you know, like you win there like 50%, right?
Yeah.
That's your win. Money might not be on the way too soon, but the happiness is already there, which is like 50% of the accomplishment.
100%. So what made you be like, I'm not a young, stupid freelancer anymore who's gonna do this forever. It's time to think serious and start a
Okay,
business.
yeah, back to your original
Yeah.
question, right? So to keep this precise, so from back in the day, so when I started, I felt a rookie, right? I looked up to the people that were better than me,
Yeah.
right? And so that somehow it eventually, like over the years, you know, in my head, I was like, I guess from the family background as well. So my parents, they wanted me to be like, a businessman and executive, like
yeah.
something like that,
Yeah.
along that line. And so if I do this and also I want to be a businessman, right? So have that establishment. This is like family background, personal, cultural thing, right?
Okay.
And so for me, it's important that I establish myself in a way where I'm also like, own a business.
Yeah.
Which is like,
That's
like
respectable.
executive level
Yeah.
stuff. And then also like, I'm also a creative, right? So to this day, I made that transition by meeting like a lot of like-minded people, creatives, working with agency full-time,
Yeah.
right? And then I did freelance. So going back and forth between those processes and now like being able to set up my own company here. So this is the goal, and it's a kind of a dream come true for sure.
Yeah, I think it really, when you start a business, it really solidifies like, damn, this guy knows his stuff. He's an expert.
Yeah.
And he's done, he's been through it all in order to get to this stage of starting a business. Right?
True. And it's like starting in business is not difficult. But to keep the business up, that's more difficult, right?
Okay.
You can start a business tomorrow. You can just go register for your
Right,
business.
right.
In Thailand, it's probably like you having like a Thai ID. That's like the easiest thing to do. You can set up a business, but how long you can keep that business up, that's the real question, right?
So how have you kept your business up so far?
I've kept my
Like,
business
give
up.
me like the biggest thing that you think, if I don't have this, my
Yeah.
business is gonna fail. Like,
Yes,
what is
connection.
it? Connections?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. Connection. The way we met each other. The way that, like I started off as a content creator / like a rookie videographer, like getting started,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Aspiring videographer, filmmaker, right? So I kept on obviously grinding my work.
Yeah.
My creativity, and then on the side, it was the most important thing, having the platform, the YouTube,
Right.
Instagram, right? That's how we both met each other as
100%,
well in
yeah.
the first place, right?
Yeah.
And so this is a short, narrowed down example.
Okay.
So even until this day, we're doing projects together.
That's crazy.
That's
That's
only
crazy.
possible because we're keeping those connections throughout our passion, right?
Right.
And that connection and leveraging on the platform that we have, right?
Yeah.
YouTube and Instagram.
I think you make a great point, because like people think social media is bad. People think like, hey, you shouldn't be playing Facebook
Yeah.
so much, you shouldn't be using Instagram.
Yeah.
But little do they know, if you just think of it as a tool to
Yeah.
meet the right people, like to meet the people you want to meet,
Yeah.
then it's like the best thing.
You're best at that. You know all the people in the world. Like technically, you're like the most social butterfly and like the social media magnet.
I
like that
try.
that
I mean,
know of. Like,
I mean,
you
we
attract
both know
people.
the importance of connection. That's why it's like, you have to put yourself out there.
Yeah.
I heard a quote before, which is like, if you know just 4 people in your circle, like you're close with, you basically know everyone in the world. Because
Yeah.
everyone has 4 more people, and then
Yeah.
4 more people.
I say 1 people is enough.
You think
bro.
so?
Because I was thinking about this, not because of this interview,
Yeah.
and I didn't know any of the questions before
Yeah,
sitting
yeah,
with you
yeah.
here today. But I was working on like a different presentation where
Okay.
I also talk about this transition, right?
What transition?
Transition to being like someone as a creative,
Yeah.
right? Being a content creator, and then scale to
okay.
being a full-scale production
Yeah,
company,
yeah.
right? So I've been thinking about that. I've been working on a presentation myself. So, and then today morning, this is one conclusion that I came to, and
Okay.
it's not for people. You need to know one good connection that will lead to all the rest of the connections in the world, all existing connections. Even like content creator, like I met like another 20 people through you, and it's like a chain reaction, right? So one good people that shares the same creativity, same level of energy, right? And it's just like chemical,
Okay.
fusion.
But what is
chain
a
reaction.
good connection for you? That's my question.
Good connection is the one that has like strong creativity.
Okay.
Not creativity. I would say creativity is there more or less depending on people's taste and right. So you can judge that like based on different creatives, right? But I would say it's more about the passion and sharing that, like the mindset, the openness, the willing to share, giving away the secrets and to help each other out, right? It's not all about me, but it's I'm like, if I can make your day, if I can show love, compassion, and respect.
Damn.
Day one, you meet people and you can make
just
that
know,
good impression. You
Okay.
know if this person is being real.
Right.
Sometimes life might disappoint. Some people might not turn out how they would be.
At first,
would
they might
expect
seem
day
good, and then
one.
you're like, oh, maybe they're kind of shit person.
But maybe that they are not that one person. So what my goal is like, I don't need 4 person, right? I need that one good person that will connect me with 4 people or 20 people, whatever the number is.
I think that's a valid point, but I would like to disagree.
Okay.
Because I think, okay, one person is nice, is fine, but I guess everyone starts off with one person, you're right, but I don't want it to be like, oh, I only solely rely on you. Like,
No, but I don't rely on you. Like I started with you, right?
Yeah.
And now I have Prince, so I don't.
So-
I'm relying on.
So that's
Prince
what I'm saying.
And then,
It's
like
like,
other people.
yeah,
too,
obviously
right?
you start from one, and then you expand, and
Yeah.
then whatnot. It just becomes, the more you do it, the more people know about you, right?
Yeah.
I think that's.
I feel like I know why I'm saying this because I've been in conversation with some other creatives as well.
Yeah.
And for people that are introvert, I would say like
It's hard,
especially introverted people, it scares them off to like day one go out. You gotta talk to people, right? You're doing this, you gotta have connections. And so I kind of tone that down, and so it doesn't sound as intimidating. You just need to know one good people.
Yeah. Okay. Fair
Right?
enough. Fair enough.
We're not. Yeah, you don't have to have like 100 connections.
True.
At the end of the day, you can have few connections, but quality connections.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. I think the way we met, if we're talking about this kind of personal connection here, is because I saw your videos before, and I was like, damn, Sam Coder of Thailand is here? Like, what is going on, right? In the video world, I wanted to ask, because you had so many options. You had video, you had photo, you had painting, you had music. Bruno Mars hit you up the other day, right? Like, he wanted you to be his stunt double, but you were busy. So.
Yeah, I was busy. Yeah, no way I
Unfortunate.
can do that.
It's okay.
We were shooting Anessa, so no way I'm like leaving my client project.
Yeah, no worries. But I wanted to ask, why did you get into video? Why not photos?
I love moving pictures.
Why is that?
It's life. It's everything is moving.
What is it that
like
videos can do that photos or music or art or paintings can't?
They can to a certain extent, right? But it's a personal preference, right? If I'm just sitting somewhere like and then by the lake, and I see that like it's the frequency, right? Like I feel more frequency. I connect like on that level, right? Frequency in the visuals, the wave of the water. If you don't see that wave moving, you don't see the water, the frequency, the color of life. That's the energy, the power.
Okay.
Right?
So you think those like very subtle movements or maybe even the sound, right? The subtle sounds help bring everything together and make you feel like
Yeah, exactly. Have you seen like a movie and when you feel like you're actually there?
Freaking,
the sound design, the color, the cinematography. So it captivates you. It keeps you with the story. You're a part of the story. You're not watching a film, but you're in that film.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's the power that video can provide over a photo or a simpler form of art.
Yeah, I think I don't think you should say simpler form of art, or else people are gonna shit on you.
Well, I would say for me, I don't know. I would say simpler form of art in a way that I don't know. Yeah, well maybe I shouldn't say that, but it's out there.
I think every art is respectable.
I back up.
Take that back.
I back up. I don't take it back. I don't know. Yeah.
No, I think every
now
art,
take that back.
Every art is respectable, and as long as you're like always pushing the boundaries of that art, people will respect what you do.
I mean, I could give you logic, right? Why I would say it's a simpler form of art.
Okay.
Like you could have brush strokes, like different 50 types of brush painting, like a paint, 100 types, 100 different colors. You mix it up, that complexity, right? So it's all so it has its form, but I'm not a painter, right? So I might not appreciate all of those forms of art, but as a video expert, right? I know like the nitty-gritty details, right? So so I don't know. I could learn more about different forms of art, but for me, like cinematography involves so much. A team of 100. We're talking about hundreds of people working at the same time to create a product, right? Where a simple is one person, right, can draw like a canvas.
I definitely, because we're both in the industry, I know that video takes a lot more than photos.
Yeah, takes a lot more time. I don't know, depending on what you're doing, basically.
But my kind of pet peeve in this industry is whenever I take a photo, when I do work with a client, and then I'm like, oh, good job. I direct them and whatnot, and then afterwards I show them, they're like, wow, Sean, this is amazing. What camera do you use? I'm like, what the to some extent, I think
people appreciate it though.
They appreciate it, but I don't know if they understand that it's not just about the camera. Like, has anyone told you, oh my God, what video camera do you use? And how do you respond to that?
This is all like, what's been put in people's brain. Marketing, hey, check out this camera.
Right.
This iPhone, you can shoot like high dynamic range, blah, blah, blah. Oppo 11, whatever different series of model camera comes out, right? Phones, either phones or camera, they will market the quality, the shooting, different stuff, but they don't tell that, 50, if you're not a good photographer, photo's gonna be shit.
Right.
So it's that game we play, right? It's just like how you talk, how people think. There's nothing right or wrong about it. If people ask me, I'm like, good camera, right? But if you ask me, that it's more than a good camera. It's good camera, and also my skills, right?
So I think that really brings to the point that they're not doing it out of like disrespect to you, but it's more like
definitely not.
They're not that educated in that way. That's why you're like, okay, I understand. And maybe if it's not worth your time educating them, you just say, good camera. But if it is, then you would be like, okay, you know what?
Exactly.
Actually, if you look at it from this angle, it's a lot about. So there's a lot more to it.
100%.
Let's say.
100%.
That's very good, man. I think you gave some really good answers so far.
Yes.
How are you feeling?
Well, I'm so into this.
I'm so into it.
Yeah, I'm like, this is good.
This is good. All right, love it.
So comfortable.
Okay, cool. My question, I want to go away from, I guess, the business side or whatnot, and I want to talk more about you, right?
Okay.
What is it about, what personality do you think is the most important about you that makes you succeed in this creative world?
Right. I would say kindness and compassion. That's just the way to go.
Well, that's two. I asked for one, but
kindness. I say
okay, kindness. Yeah.
So I feel like compassion also has a little bit of integration of kindness. Right? Compassion is like a big word.
Okay. Go for it.
Compassion shows love and kindness. And it shows that, you are dedicated to either a person or a project.
How do you show that? What are the things you do?
I show that by listening to people, that you respect what they're saying, right? Whether it's a friend telling you something, whether it's someone, social media, right? If someone posted a story, I know like, hey, so you've been there last week, like what's up, like, and it's just not that two people meeting up, but it's like, oh, you noticed that I was there, right? So it's just like being able to show that shared and mutual, you know, respect and just recognizing each other for, you know, who they are in your life. Goes the same for parents. But you know, I feel like we all have to like consistently improve on that.
Have you
friends,
Sorry,
boyfriend, girlfriend?
Have you had? Whoa.
It's fine. That's spray.
Oh, okay. Have you had an experience where, I guess, someone was not compassionate, someone was not kind, and like you met someone who's like, I don't want to work with you.
Yeah.
Is there? Yeah. And what are the signs that show you that I don't want to work with this person?
Maybe the person is rude. First thing first. Even the smile. Wow.
Really?
Smile is so contagious, and it affects me so much when I see. First day I met you, you're like this guy who's like jolly, you know, ongoing, like like, you know, fresh, young, and like smiling, right? None of that mattered like if you didn't smile, right? Like, so it's just a human connection part, right? So I feel like we all are just hardwired to like feeling something good about each other person, right? So it all comes from compassion. If you can show that compassion to like other people that you are surrounded with, at the end of the day, everyone's gonna love you for who you are. You just be yourself.
That's awesome.
You just be kind and compassion. Yeah.
Yeah, I think in the day and age of people who are always trying to be looking good, always acting cool and like secluded, finding people like genuinely happy, genuinely passionate about others is hard, right? Yeah. And if you do find those people, definitely like
just hold on to them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Hold on
and
to
just
them.
appreciating for what you have, for sure, right? Like you if you want more, you gotta work for it, right? But always appreciating what you have is also like a way that, you know, people see that, you know, you're appreciating and you're not trying to be someone else.
Yeah.
So I when I see people and I see real people, they're not faking themselves. That's just one way that, you know, for me to also connect that with that people on a higher level, right? So I feel like, you know, it's just like that mindset as a bigger picture. It makes you as a better person, and also, you know, people will love you for who you are. That's just
Damn.
the mindset.
I mean, to me, you are a role model because of all that.
Yeah.
And I wanted to ask, because I can't be your role model, because I guess I wasn't there when you were doing this video stuff, right? But I wanted to ask.
You were there
like,
from day one.
I was so stupid. I was like a dumb 18-year-old. I couldn't teach you anything that you knew.
We both, you know, we shared, you know, like we shared value to each other. Like I was obviously like providing, like
I learned a lot.
Anything that I could, like at that point, at that time of your life, with whatever you're doing. But I feel like also with you and like other younger folks that I meet, like a lot younger than my age, right? And to me, like it helps me keep keep in touch with my younger self, right? Like Prince said the other day. And so like that's also like one thing. Like when you feel like you're getting older, and so like there's gonna be so much that is like pressure on you, right? But if you keep like a touch with your younger self, right, then it just helps you to kind of like be happy, and also like not to worry much.
Who was your mentor when you were growing up, and
my mentor?
Who was your role model in the video world?
In the video world,
specifically.
Ooh, okay.
I want to know who you looked up to in the video world. Yeah.
In the video world. Well, in the video world, so it all started actually with me vlogging, right? So it was Mr. Ben Brown from, he's originally from the UK, but he used to live in South Africa back then, so he used to make daily vlogs. So Mr. Ben Brown is like, you know, my go-to, like, you know, inspiration for every single day, right? And so that inspired me to make vlog in the first place. When I was in UK, right, in London, I was doing like 360 camera, and it was just like, you know, doing like typical selfie stick. I was just doing a 360, showing like, you know, wherever I am, right? My part of the trip. I came back home, edited that footage, and my parents put that on TV, and my parents go like, wow. So that feeling right there was the spark that I had early on that, you know, inspired me to start as my videography in the first place.
That's beautiful. I think every child really has that one moment. They're like, "Oh my God, I can make people feel like that." Like,
Yeah.
you know, it's
Exactly.
magical because you start off very simple with just like you said, your GoPro, right?
Yeah, GoPro.
And at the end of the day, it's really just that. I think, at least I'm at a stage where it's like I overcomplicate it.
Yeah.
I was like, I have to bring the biggest camera, I have to bring the biggest lens, you know, for some reason. But when in reality, you just use what you have, right? What do you think of that? What are your thoughts on starting out? Do you need good gear or just start with what you have?
Definitely start with what you have, right? So previously what I just said, I started my YouTube videos, that first video of me like, you know, doing the selfie video, being the typical tourist in London that was all shot on iPhone, right? So I put that out, and after that I bought a GoPro, right? So something along that line, right? I had to save up to buy a GoPro, but like even if I didn't have the GoPro, I'm pretty sure it wouldn't stop me from using my phone to still put the content out there, right? And I'm talking about like 8 years back, 9 years back.
Shooting
right?
at like 480p or something?
Yeah, so like now, like the phones that we have, these are so good. If you have a phone, you have everything. You have
Honestly.
a platform, you have, you know, a device that can create content for your platform. You can put the content out there, and you know, it's just make it a lot easier these days. And you just gotta go for it. You just gotta.
Do you have the urge to simplify your gear these days? Because for me, when I go on a shoot, I'm like, I don't want to carry such a big camera. I would just want to like point and shoot. But I don't know. Do you have that feeling?
Depending on where I'm shooting, right? So there's a reason why I bought a big car.
Yeah.
So like, right? And I'm like, and I'm just putting like a bunch of things that I definitely need, and also I might need.
Yeah.
There's like even like 5% chance that I'll pick it up. I'll just
Dump it
I'll
inside,
just put it in the trunk of the car, and then I have a card on the shooting day that I can put it on, right? But like the recent Anessa shoot that we did in Phuket, right? For that project, I did my best to like simplify a lot of the things that I might not need, right? So unless if I have to, if I'm like, but I have the gears, right? So if you already have the gears, you might as well use it. You gotta utilize to the max potential, right? Yeah. But if you don't have gear,
just use what you have.
Use what you have.
Yeah, I find a lot of times not having a specific gear is like a limitation in the best of ways, right? Creative limitation, right?
Exactly.
If I only have an iPhone, I only have 3 lenses I can choose from.
Yeah.
Okay, so how do I find the best angle for this, for that, for this, right?
Yeah.
What do you think about creative limitation, and has that helped you or has that made it harder for you in this career?
Creative limitation, right? It definitely takes more time, right? But as long as you're like having one lens on your camera versus having 3 different lenses, right? For example. So if you have 3 different lenses and you want to create more angle, you obviously have an advantage. But even talking about one camera, and then you have to shoot separately, right? If you talk about like that workflow, as long as you're passionate about it, it will take you more time, but it all comes down to passion. If you're passionate, you are ready to craft your skills. That shows in your work, and at that time, the gear doesn't really matter. Okay. You'll definitely take more time than having a 10 people crew helping you out with that, versus you doing it all by yourself. But you just gotta have passion.
With passion, you'll figure it out eventually, right? Yeah, I think that's one thing that I find really hard these days is there's so much content in this world. Yeah. Like I follow like 50 entrepreneurs. I'm like, whoa, yeah, I'm getting so much information. I'm gonna make millionaire tomorrow.
Yeah.
But the reality is, I don't know. I think it's too much sometimes, right? What do you think about this? Like, is too much content a thing?
Right. So, I was talking about, you know, like my vlogger motivation back then was Mr. Ben Brown, and then after that, from my vlogging days, I transitioned to, you know, like being the cinematographer. So it's all cinematic now, right? And then I looked up to like a lot of creatives. So it really depends on what you're doing. But like, so if you're trying to get the visuals, maybe like getting different types of visuals. So it's kind of like, it subconsciously, you know, like attracts in your head, like you put that in your head, right? So in that way, visual stuff, I would say like, you know, while looking at like as many sources as possible, I feel like that's fine if like for the visual direction.
So what's not
and then
fine?
you can just choose your style, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like for something as, you know, like maybe for like my modern day like inspiration, like up until today, my modern day inspiration is actually Chris Do. So he's the only person that helped me, you know, like achieve, you know, my personal goal, my also like business and also like income stream, right? Of how I should even talk to the client in the first place, dealing all of that. So this is the path that I choose, right? And so I feel like especially if you're looking up to like people for advices and something a little bit more complex, people will tell you like 10 different things. And at that point, I feel like if you follow too much people, it can easily get mixed up and could eventually affect on your goal. Like your goal might just change by watching like so many things, and it might just throw you off. You'll be, you know, you might even like get scared off and you're not gonna even pursue that anymore. So I feel like starting off business-wise, like if you wanna start a career, you know, grow your business, I would say, you know, stick to 1-2 people. Like if you find that one perfect person that, you know, like that you see that is really helping you out, you know, follow that person for a while and see if that really makes that change, right? For me, Chris Do has really provided that, and so like huge shout out to you know, to Chris Do. I know he's impacted not only me but both of us here like big time. So
yeah, man,
super fortunate.
I guess that's my goal for this podcast. Like I want to be another or a version of Chris Do that helps provide value, right? Because I don't know everything in the world. But what I can do is interview the people who know it, like you, right? So, it's a beautiful thing.
I know what I know. I don't know everything, right? I tell you what I know, right? Maybe I'll do another interview where you tell me what you know, right?
Maybe, man. Maybe.
So we're all are like expert in different fields, and like Chris Do is also expert in what he does. He is like, he also is a really good example of like a compassionate person. Which and like providing values, giving it out to like all the people in the world, you know, his secret sauce. And then also at the same time, he's also like pretty straightforward business guy, right? So a good balance in that is also like very important as well. To kind of achieve your goal.
Do you see yourself as a Chris Do in the future?
Not exactly Chris Do, but like heavily inspired, right? I want to be my version of Chris Do, maybe, you know, because I look up to him. And I would say I want to be Chris Do when I grow up.
But the thing about him is I think he's really good at educating. So I was curious, do you have any interest in educating others?
Educating others, right? Talking about educating, growing up, I did not have any interest of becoming a teacher for full-time work or anything like that, right? So I see myself as a creative guy, but if I were to teach, do I teach? I do tutorials, I do filmmaking tutorials, and that's also like, you know, like now I did that and I look back without even realizing I also became teacher at some point in my life, right? I became, it's also coming from the compassion. I did not choose to be a teacher, but that's maybe, you know, who I am sometime, right? Like also, you know, like helping each other out, giving advices. That's being, you know, like teacher, or like being influential in someone's life. I see it that way.
Yeah, I think it's good. A lot of the times we feel like we have to be on a grand stage in order to have an impact. But when in reality, even just like little bits of information posting online can go a long way.
Exactly.
Right? Has your parents or family ever not supported your career in any way?
Well, my dad, because obviously this is like, you know, like no secret, but like, okay, so my dad, he's obviously, so my family background, my dad is from Bangladesh, my mom is from Thailand. And so like I said, my one reason being me, like wanting to be like an executive, like a business owner, you know, going that route, but also like for myself, I wanted to be a creative, right? So why I had to balance that out was also because when I was, you know, like doing these, like I studied like filmmaking, right? So my dad, he did support me with all financially and with all the things that I needed for a good life and so to be happy, right? But also he would keep saying things like, I what do I tell my friends? Like, what do you do, right?
Damn.
Like, you hold the camera, like, and what are you shooting? Like, so in Bangladesh, like if you're shooting wedding, it's like it seems as like a low tier of like profession.
Wow.
As a lot of people like like growing up, it's like a stereotyping. Like if you hold the camera, you're shooting video. What are you gonna do? You're gonna shoot weddings when you grow up? That's your career? That's what your career is gonna be?
Damn.
So it's been looked down upon, but that's something like from like 30 years ago.
Right.
It doesn't matter now.
Yeah.
People making so much respect for it's just a creative process.
Right.
So much respect for people making videos for weddings and all the events, and they're making like successful career and also being very happy.
So
with
is
what
he
they
like
do.
okay with what you're doing now?
And so so down the line, right? So
Yeah.
I graduated.
Yeah.
Right after that, I got the job, full-time job in an agency, right?
Yeah.
I got twice, almost 2.5 times more salary than an average Thai person would get after they graduate and get a full-time job.
Yeah.
That's one thing right there. And I, as an Asian culture, right? So I would give my dad, my parents like a small sum of like from my salary to them, and so I know it's very traditional, like, but that's the reality of it. That's what like Asian parents would expect. Like they take care of you their whole life, and then when you grow up, they also expect a little bit of that. Like, oh yeah, and they can go tell their friends that, hey, yeah, my son, he gives like 20K, 30K a month. He's making doing good job. He's where he works. Now he even owns a company, right? So it's a different like parent society, right?
Yeah.
I don't think your parents are like that, but like I don't blame them for who they are. Like because of that thought process, my dad's personality and like mindset, but also like his support the whole time, right? He just didn't see the picture of me being like like a successful in doing down that line, like doing camera work, right? So now I proved it to him, and so it's very clear to him that he's very happy. He's the happiest guy in the world now.
Dude, that's
Yeah,
awesome,
yeah,
man.
yeah.
That's awesome. I think the hardest thing about this career is for me at least, is having the family
Yeah.
behind you, like
Yeah.
supporting.
Exactly.
Because a lot of times it's just like, hey, when are you gonna get a real job? When are
Does it happen to you?
Yeah,
Huh?
it does. And I'm like, this is a real job, and I guess the only objective way to tell them or to show them is financially, because
Exactly.
at the end of the day, you're getting a 9 to 5 because you want the money, not because you fucking enjoy sitting at the desk.
Yeah, 100%.
Right. So
100%.
once they see that I could kind of take care of myself,
Yeah.
didn't ask for money, didn't do like
You took care of yourself.
yeah,
You took
that's
care of
it.
yourself.
That's
You
it.
step up.
Yeah. Once they
Right?
saw that, they're like, okay, we'll let you try a little bit, and then now they're more comfortable with it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You took care of yourself. You step up, right?
Yeah.
So that's the way to go. That's
Yeah.
why you just gotta prove them, like that. Like thank you for everything you've done for us. Like you guys have done for me, but like from now on, like I can take care of myself.
Yeah. I mean,
So you
yeah.
just
Hopefully,
gotta-
I don't want.
Especially Asian parents, like
Yeah.
like both your mom and dad, they are what are they doing? 9 to 5. Your mom is
9 to 5, yeah.
How
They're
about your dad? Your dad is also
9 to 5, yeah.
right? So yeah, it's just Asian parents' expectation, right? Like they would also down the line want you to have like a job that is like somewhat secured, right? You're getting like consistent paid at the end of the month.
yeah. Funny and sorry to cut you off
Yeah.
there, but funny enough, my mom the other day, we were walking on the street, and then my mom's like, "Yo, check this out! This Chinese guy and Russian woman are making like 10 million baht a month. Like, how are they doing that?" I'm like,
What are they doing?
yo, that's YouTube. Like, you're watching their YouTube. She's like, you can make money off YouTube? I'm like,
Oh yeah.
yo, you want to see me try? Like, let me be your...
Yeah, you do it, bro.
Yeah.
You do it.
So I think she's slowly seeing the possibility of the creator.
Yeah.
You know.
It's just this generation gap. You just gotta educate them, right?
Yeah.
So like I say, how once I showed my dad, this is the life I saw in the first place when I started off, but he just didn't see that, right? I did tell him, right? But it took time and courage and like a lot of work for me to get here and then to prove it to him, right? So generation gap, I guess this is our duty, right? Like this generation to show the previous generation that it's not gonna be always the same, you know, like this is like plus 10 years. We're talking 2024 now, right?
Yeah.
And maybe the same for us. Our kids are gonna be like, oh, it's 2040 now.
Yo, we can make money just by breathing. Dad. We don't need to do anything.
Yeah. Exactly. Like, no, they're just gonna wink and make money.
Yeah, dude, I'm scared, man.
You don't know what's coming up, right?
My children, I'm gonna be that grandpa who's like, oh, get a freaking job, man. Get a camera and start vlogging. Come on, bro.
Yeah.
That's our version of like normal job.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Like you going up to like a restaurant. There's a comedy sketch about that. Going up to a restaurant and like, so parents and then the girl. So the girl took their boyfriend to meet up first time, right? You guys should check this out. Put a link of that, bro. I'm pretty sure this is a really good example of this thing that we're talking right now. 20 years from now, parents will go like, so how much follower does he have?
Seriously?
You've seen that, right? Oh, 200. Right? Bro, so are you like an influencer? Are you a YouTuber? Right? He works in some corporate or something. He did not even take photo of the food.
Oh, that's
so
a
like
really...
stuff like that. You just...
It's
amazing. You don't know what's coming.
That's true.
Dude,
that's definitely a real... That's going to be a real conversation.
It is,
like 2 years, 3 years. You never know, man.
Yeah,
Maybe
respect to the guy that made that sketch.
It was
Top notch.
Top notch.
Yeah.
What are some tips for upcoming videographers who want to do videography for a living and potentially start a business? Do you have anything? What tips do you have for them?
Okay. So number one tip will be to obviously starting with yourself. So improving your skill, right?
Okay.
So you gotta improve doing what you do, be confident with your work, know your equipments, start with whatever you have. And then second will be to create a portfolio, right? Put out your work out there and show it to people. Like I said, we already have an existing platform like social media, YouTube. Put your work out there. If you're focusing on video, you should put your work on Vimeo. That's the industry, video industry. You're seeing as a video industry expert. If you put your work out there, it's specialized for videographers, right? So put your work out there. If you don't have a client, make specs commercial, right? Do commercials do unpaid collab to just get started off, right? So that's something that you can easily do, and people would be happy to accommodate you. And also when you're doing that, try your best to get some big names at the beginning as well, because you're doing it for free, and you would be also like so fortunate. It's a win-win for both sides that you're providing that content to them, right? So you do that, you put your work out there, and then
you're gonna succeed after that.
Yeah. And you just gotta wait for the money to drop from the sky.
Drop from the sky. I mean, I would love that to happen, but
yeah. But I feel like it starts from you. It really starts from you developing your skills, putting your work out there, and like we talked earlier in the video. And number 3 is the most important thing. Like having the mindset of building connections, existing connections. Growing whatever from the existing connections that you have and utilize on them, show compassion, right? And have this community of people that they're not just people that you work with, but they're friends. We're friends, but we also work together on a lot of projects, right? So it doesn't have to be 50 people. It can be like a group of 5 people. Start building your own team that can eventually help you, back you up in different projects where you need a photographer, maybe 2 videographers, someone to help you assist with the project, maybe someone that can, a friend that is trying to learn, right? Or you see potential, you can get that person with you. They can come by and also help you take some behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And then you can also post those behind the scenes in your portfolio, showing the equipment that you have. If equipment is an issue, if equipment is matter for your production at that time, depending on how you're positioning yourself, right? So I know this is a lot, but yeah, that's the gist of it.
Dude,
very much.
I think that's beautiful, man.
Yeah.
And
Consistent grind, and then you're gonna be able to, like get there. But consistency.
consistency.
Yeah. It goes like with, like compassion.
Damn. Double C.
Double C, baby.
Consistency and compassion.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, man. I think this is all I wanted to hear today.
We're done.
Yeah, man, dude, you're doing great. Like, this is great. This has been so far so good.
Okay.
And yeah, I just want to thank you again for hopping on this podcast. And
Anytime. Bro.
hopefully, talking to me is
Not-
also talking to yourself.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
Kind
not every day I get to be honest, creative.
Yeah. Sometimes you're just a lying asshole.
You know me. Okay.
Oh, thank you so much for watching this episode, and I hope you guys learned a lot from Manit. He has been there and done that in the video world. So if you have any questions, I'll drop his Instagram and stuff down below, and hope to connect. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you. Peace.
Woo!
Awesome, brother. My man. Oh, I love this. This is like
bye-bye.
merchandise now.
Shoot, I know, it's good, right?
Look, bro, it's merchandise. See?
Represent.